One time, a one time, a one time, one time, one time, one time, one time, one time, one time.
Said, woke up in the morning and I smelled the fresh pollution. Television never tried to show my execution.
Said, who's this? Just a kid from the neighborhood. I've been trying to start a revolution for the greater good.
It's the revolution coming, marching on your street. Always use your voice for the ones who cannot speak.
It's the ones who go to war from the belly of the beast. And I'm coming from the underground, you hear it in my speech.
Leave us speechless.
From the second that I speak this,
Please believe this.
give the youth the truth, they really need this.
You need this, and they like to treat us like we three fists. The kids I always feel this from the second that the beat hit.
It's the good,
It's the bad,
it's the evil and the ugly.
It's the crooks,
it's the cash,
and the people with the money.
yeah, every day ain't sunny when your nose is getting runny and the people start to laugh, but ain't a damn thing funny. Yeah, biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' sing. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' sing. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' sing. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' sing. It's the nitty, the gritty, the smog that's in the city.
Your nothing's been the same since they killed Pac and Biggie.
A mic check, 1, 2. They always try to cut you off when you start to speak the truth. So what's the truth and what's the lie? Why the U.S. always funding genocide? And what is war and what is peace?
And what's our business always in the Middle
They
East?
take stakes and make tanks and make banks to West Bank. They bang bang and gang bang. They slave trade and slang things like AKs, grenades made to raise flames and make ways to end race. Why? It's for the money and the power.
It's the higher ups and they be hungry and devour. Rich eat the poor, but I hope it stays in sour. The house of cards are falling soon, the world will all be ours.
Hours on the clock, go tick tock. Your wristwatch has been stopped. The rich watch your kids dots and get taught to keep them lips locked. And it stops when kids are taught through hip hop.
It's hip hop, four elements combined. This that type of feeling that be running through your spine. It's the MCs that be holding on the mic. It's the DJ that be scratching all the time. It's the B-boys that be spinning on their minds. It's the grab heads that be writing on the signs. And it's hip hop, and it's always been alive. And it's hip hop, and it's never gonna die. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' say. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' say. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' say. Say biddy biddy bomb bomb, biddy biddy bang. This the type of music that my people gon' say.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
Fire. Yeah, we listened to that track on the way up here a couple times, actually.
Dang, you just caught it live, but like in a tiny desk setting.
Beautiful execution. So let me just start this off. First of all, can you guys introduce yourselves to our viewers and tell us kind of how the neighborhood kids came together as a group?
I'm Amon,
And I'm Verde.
and we're actually a couple. We met at a hip hop show and just been making a bunch of music together. And we were actually during lockdown, we were playing with, ironically, the kids that live in the neighborhood shooting basketball. They're into filming too, and we're also into filming. So we were messing around, skating, and they had a little basketball hoop. And one of our neighbors said, "Oh, I saw y'all hanging out with the neighborhood kids, playing with the neighborhood kids." And we were looking for a group name, and it just
Stuck.
it just clicked. Immediately we questioned it. We're like, it's too simple. It's too this, too that, but
Or too long.
too long.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest thing. It's like a damn near alphabet length, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, then we just roll with it. And I feel like it encapsulates what we do, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
The whole message.
Dope. So we were showing you some of the cipher content that we do up in Vancouver. Mentioned that we're trying to come down here, spread the word of hip-hop, spread the love of icon hip-hop. One thing we're really focused on is ciphers and cipher culture. Can you guys touch on that real quick? The importance of being at a cipher and what a cipher means to you?
Cypher, I believe, is one of the most important things of hip-hop because I feel like that's the most rawest, naturalist, the most pure form of unfiltered hip-hop because you could get ready all day to go on stage and perform. But when you're in a cipher, it's kind of just everything flies out the window and you're just in the moment. And those are like the best moments, especially like if you're at a show and you're in front of the venue or you're in the back alley or whatever, and everybody just starts a cipher with no beat, or somebody has a Bluetooth speaker, beatboxing, anything. Like you'll just get the purest, rawest form of hip hop. And I just believe that it's like it's monumental. It's almost it's like foundational,
100%. I always say it's the fifth element.
It is the fifth element.
Another thing is that it's like everyone, like all types of people, like so many different types of rap, like all different age ranges, and like it just doesn't matter who you are. Like it just like everyone come together, and like it's like community, and it grows and it builds, and people like go back to back. Like it's super cool. It's a culture for sure.
Feeding off each other's energy and
that
shit.
Is super sick. Like we have a homegirl who's in like a rock band, right? And she was in one of the ciphers, and she like laid down the hook, like for what I mean? Like it's like cool. Like you could like even do that. And I also feel like it's kind of like in that open mic setting to where it's a lot more like people can be vulnerable. Like if you're like messing up or stumbling, people aren't gonna be like boo. They're gonna be like no, go in, go in. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like one of like the purest moments right there.
Yeah,
and
no, exactly.
I feel like obviously you want like the spirit of competition. And you're like, I want to outshine, but it's all like a lot of times your like ego kind of goes out the window, and it's like let's just have a good time.
It's all love. So your guys' music is very interesting to myself, and it's different from a lot of the hip hop that you usually hear nowadays. What are some of your guys' influences?
Ooh, I love like Slug from Atmosphere, Guru from Gangstar. I like underground people like Murs and Big Wax, and Typical Cats was a big thing. Like Quell from Typical Cats.
Big Wax.
Big Wax, yeah. Like you know Big Wax. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, we did a show with Wax.
Oh, did you? We're working on a song with him. Like he's cool as fuck.
No
he lives out here. Actually,
yeah, he just moved recently.
Yeah, he lives out here. He's cool as fuck. He's cool people's. Like I'd say that's like an Immortal Technique is a big one for me.
Yeah.
And then you got like a similar and different
like
ones.
I really like Outkast as a group. I feel like like that's the staple of like a duo there, so I like that. And I really like Pro Era just because like of the consciousness and like what they stand for too, like Joey Badass and Capital Steez. Capital Steez was like my favorite rapper for a long time. Lauryn Hill, obviously. The Fugees.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of people say we sound like Rage Against the Machine, but like
I was gonna ask you that next.
We didn't. Well, actually, he introduced me to them because I didn't even know like who they were. Like that sound didn't. Like that's not what inspired like our stuff.
No.
Dude, even before the band, when she was rocking like solo sets and just doing her thing, because hers has always been in that like quote unquote political realm or like like anti-establishment type shit, and people were telling her, oh, you remind me of Zach De La Rocha, you remind me of like Rage Against the Machine. And she told me one time, she's like, I don't know who that is.
Fuck is
And I had a CD of it. It was Empire of the Sun, I believe. And she was like, okay, I see the vision.
Yeah, of course.
But it wasn't until like we started working with the band and like a video like popped off on TikTok and like blew up of us like performing at a festival, and we had the whole band, and it like just was like more raw than like the recorded version that we had, and it just sounded like a lot. We got so much rage that we kind of like dived into that like type of feeling, and it just kind of just came out naturally. And then that's when she was like, okay, like and me too, like I listened to a bunch of it in middle school, and like a little bit in high school. And then, on Guitar Hero and shit,
Of course.
And, I was like, I grew up on them, loved them, but she didn't know, so it was cool to, like, kind of revisit all that. Like, when you have, like a different ear, you have, like, the nostalgic feeling of, like, oh, I remember this from when I was younger. And then listening to it as an adult, you're like, oh, yeah, they were spitting, too. Like, there's a reason I like this,
Of course.
And it was cool to, like, kind of re-experience that with her and then kind of, now making music that's in that threshold,
That's beautiful, man. So you mentioned a band. What's up with the band? You guys do a lot of live production and shit?
Yeah, we actually do. So JG's over there, our DJ, and he helps with a lot of like he does all the scratches, but he also does some production work on our stuff, and he makes killer beats, and he can also rap too. So anytime there's a cipher, he's like in there too, and
That's what's up.
it's beautiful, you know. He's freestyling too, so like he takes out a lot of MCs, honestly. You know, but he's the DJ.
Yeah.
But we so he's in the band, and then we have our homie Miguel, goes by Gatos Locos, and he's our drummer, and he also does like all the percussionist stuff. And then we have our homie John and Nico, who are the guitarists in our band. And then we have our bass player Emerson, and sometimes our homie Christian plays with us on the bass, and he actually has an orchestra too. So so we'll get like orchestral stuff done like that. So like one of our projects, the Every Child Left Behind, is all a band, and like we went to the studio and did it live, you know. So, and then just picked out the best takes.
I could hear that. I listened to that project. I could hear it for sure.
So a lot of that started like no metronome, just straight like this is how we're gonna do it, like live, you know, type feeling to keep that like live element. But yeah, that's a lot of our production is either with the band or it's them too, because like she's crazy on the finger drum. She has the Native Instruments MK3, you know, the machine.
Yeah.
And then JG's on the tractor. What is it? Z3, right? Tractor Z2. There is no 3 yet. To the tractor Z2, and he has the Technic, so he'll be like chopping up samples and cutting it up and doing crazy stuff. So they'll go in and go crazy, and then I'll just be like, this needs a triangle on the floor. You know?
And actually, a lot of things started out as an actual hip hop beat, and then the band like remade it as a band version. So like the first track to our EP was a beat, and then also the third track, or is it the third track? Third World. It was a beat, and they just like remade it like in a band version. You know? Yeah.
Dope. 1 second.
No, this is sick. I feel like
for those that don't know, we're in an alley right now in San Diego, California.
I feel like that adds to it.
Hell yeah, it does. You guys' music touches on a lot of political issues, social issues. What led you guys to go in that direction with the hip hop?
I feel like that's what we've been inspired by. Like, I think Immortal Technique was like my first favorite rapper that I think I found on my own, and it was because of what he was talking about. And then I think that, I don't know, it's kind of like in you. I feel like there's like a fighting spirit in me to like stick up for people, especially like for like the times that I never did, you know? You know, when you're like younger or whatever, and you see like, I don't know, some shit play down and you like want to say something and you didn't, you know? Now I feel like that on like a global scale, and I kind of like, as artists, I don't know, I feel like rappers don't really touch on it, but you know, we're like emotional people. I feel like you got to be pretty emotional to be an artist, you know?
100%.
So like, it like, you know, it hits you when all this like injustice is going on, and it's kind of like I feel like a lot of hip-hop heads are like, how come nobody's making music like this? Well, maybe if you just became that person to make music like that, then you'd have that music in the world. So that's kind of like it was just in us, and we just took up the role, you know? And what about you?
Well, I feel like the hip hop that I was first listening to was from like my brother and my sister, and it was like kind of like they're not saying the best things, right? Like in the rap. And then once I discovered hip hop on my own, like, let me listen to like other things. Then I discovered like people that were actually talking about something, and then I said like, oh shit, like this is different than just what I was originally listening to. And that inspired me. Like, I've always been about, like, let me put a message inside the music instead of just, like, I don't know, like, flaunting or, like, just, like, shit that's just hatred, you know? Like, I think a lot of stuff is still like that, and we need to, like, really do something about it or not make that, you know, because a lot of shit is also like when I was, even now, like a lot of people like doubt what I do because I'm a girl, I guess. But it's like I don't believe in that. And also that needs to change within hip hop too. That like always discriminating women or putting down women or objectifying, like, making them an object, and it's just kind of whack to me, and it's overplayed, overused. Like, it's not even smart, it's not even like clever bars,
Exactly.
So yeah, I think music should always have a message, definitely, even if it's not hip hop. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, your guys' music touches a lot on, like, we all know, like, the government's all fucked up, and we wish we could overthrow the government. You guys rap quite a bit about how, like, the government uses us as pawns too, and we're just like one little piece to the puzzle. You guys want to dive a little bit deeper into that meaning?
Oh man, that could go into that's deep. That could go into so many things, but I say, like, we'll go on a current issue right now, like what's going on in the, like, Middle East and what's been going on in the Middle East, like whether it be Palestine or Sudan or let's go back to like Iraq and Afghanistan and everything. Like, it's like a whole like system that goes down into play, and like where does it go back? It always goes back to us, because I think in school they always want you to become a part of the workforce, and they preach the college education, which is very predatory, or if you don't want to go in that, they're always going to have recruiters at your school. I don't know if it's like that where you guys are from, but over here, like in high school, like the seniors, the 11th graders, they'll have like army recruiters to like get you in the army, and then they always tell you like, oh, you're going to be making a salary, you could be part of the GI Bill and get your like housing, and you could get get to travel, and you get an education. So then you go into the army, and if not, you're getting into that, you're either funding it, and that goes across the world and goes to like this pipeline of money that goes to fund the defense bill, which is really also offense, and it's like there's a reason why there's not a lot of domestic attacks over here, because we spend so much on there. But that's also the double-edged sword, because now they go out and colonize other locations and extort them for their natural resources, and then where does that go back? That goes back to us, who are the pawns, the people that are funding it. And why are you funding it? Because if you don't, you're going to be sleeping in this alley that we're in right now, and people just want to live comfy. So they'll either, when they say like woke, or some people like know what's going on, but it's comfier just to like, sit comfy on your couch after an 8-hour shift because you're tired. And that's another thing too. They want to, like, over in other countries, their work weeks are shorter and they're more manageable, and the work-life balance. Over here, it's not like that. Like, especially like where we live in this in San Diego, it's very like work, and LA is very similar, New York's very similar, where you kind of have to have a job, a side hustle, and do something else on top of that to kind of make ends meet, or like figure out your way in this game. And I believe they do that on purpose, so that you're distracted on just trying to survive, so that you don't want to, kind of shake up the system a little bit and shake up the status quo, when really there's so many people that could just shake it up. And if everybody just like went on strike and didn't pay taxes for a year, oh man, like people go crazy. But people are already getting their taxes taken out of their paycheck week to week, and that's where it's like, the pawns and who's the king and the queens. But it goes bigger than that, because like people want to talk about like Illuminati. I feel like that's just a very like broad way to just be like the higher ups, the power, but it goes into the people who control the media, the people who control the branches of government, the people who control this, which is just people at the end of the day, but they're people with corrupt morals, and they're in a position and they're more afraid of losing their position of power than helping other people. And some people, I believe, get convoluted once they go up into the hierarchy, and then they just kind of mesh in and live with it, just like how the police system is ran. I don't rock with the police, but I do see like a sense of needed of that. But then there's just so many people. They always say like one rotten apple ruins the whole barrel, but the whole barrel is looking pretty bad. There's only a few, like there's only a few people that are really doing what they believe. And then there's like messed up history. It just keeps going in, but in the root of it, it's.
Thank you. Have a good day.
They were really nice.
Yeah.
No, somebody's grandparents, they just waited us. They were proud of us. And they were proud of you, Riley. They were like, they were proud. But yeah, I could go in this all day.
100%.
I feel like it's that's just my condensed version, as condensed as I could be, because I mean, it could go into other things, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be somebody watching it and like, well, actually, if you look at the, you know what I mean? And,
of course.
And I don't want to. Follow the money, follow the paper trail. You know, it'll answer everything. But yeah, I don't know if you want to say anything.
I mean, you said it spot on. I feel like we've always been institutionalized ever since, like, I feel like ever since birth. Like, seriously, like, we have a social security. Like, we're just a number. I feel like they've always seen us as a number, and it's always just a rat race, at least here in San Diego. I mean, and how you said LA, New York, it's a very fast-paced, like, society where, like, they just want you to kind of be like a meat robot and just work, and, you know, retire when you're 70, 80, and then have 10, 20 more years of your life, and then, you know. But the way out of that is definitely to follow your passions and follow the art, you know, follow your soul, you know. That's how you really get out of this and not get brainwashed with, like, what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So easy too. You guys live in San Diego your whole life?
Pretty much all parts. I lived in North County, San Diego. I live over here now. I've lived in Riverside County for a few years, but like just a lot of parts of San Diego, and just kind of like different how they all run. Like more over here where it's like very condensed. It's kind of like very, you know, quick paced living, you know. But
how do you think San Diego's impacted like the overall sound of your guys' music?
Do you got any ideas on that one?
Definitely, I think probably the community of where we live. There's a lot of, like, everyone out here, you know, like, and just meeting like-minded people, like that really helps. And there's a great hip-hop scene here too, and that's great to just bounce back from each other and just share energy, and just like supporting local, like wherever you are, you know. I think that helps us like grow as a community too. So that's helped, you know, of the art here, and, you know, Chicano Park being like one of the big staples here, Barrio Logan, you know, those are big for me as far as like staples here.
For real.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like one thing about San Diego that some people like kind of don't, it's like overlooked, you know, because you think about the beaches and you think about like the beautiful parts of like the city or whatever. This is also a border town, so like right across the street basically is Mexico, and it's technically a third world country, you know. So you get to see that like crazy economic divide, and people that like will live over there and they'll work over here and go back home, and it's just like so much like resilience. And I'm a big fan of like the hustle, and like, you know, even though like we're in that rat race, it's kind of like beautiful to see people's like resilience to like work hard to make things happen, you know. And I feel like that kind of like goes within our music, because we're gonna make it happen, you know. Like there's always a way to make it happen. And yeah, I feel like that cultural influence is really like big for us as being like Mexican, indigenous, Latino, whatever you want to call us, like hip hop artists, and in this culture, you know, being proud of like our roots and wanting to add something to the culture. So I feel like that with all the different musical influences, because there's a bunch of dope hip hop heads out here, and there's a bunch of dope other music, like you know, just all types of genres out here, and it's cool to kind of like hear those. And, you know, we like to blend our genres and kind of like, you know, break what we could do, you know what I mean?
Break the mold.
Yeah, break the mold.
What defines real hip hop to you guys?
I feel like a message, and along with like skill, like that you could see like dedication put in. I feel like a message and skill are like the biggest things, you know, and paying true to like homage to the culture, you know. I think that's true hip hop for me. What do you think true hip hop is?
You know, a lot of overlooked stuff is definitely, I will say, like the turntablists, like the producers, like, you know, the b-boys, b-girls, and, you know, the graph heads, and, you know, there's a big shine on the MCs, but, like, you know, I even think, like, skating culture has, like, hip-hop, you know?
For
like
real.
And that's huge to me. Like, I feel like you could see things and be like, that's hip-hop, you know? Like, it's more of a feeling than, like, oh, you know, it's a concrete, like, thing, you know?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, no, skating definitely, like, has that element of hip-hop in it for sure, especially, like, rock music, too, for skateboarding.
Heck yeah.
So, what is the most exciting moment of your guys' career so far? You mentioned that you had that TikTok at the festival. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
The TikTok has been going crazy right now, but even more so, I feel like you might say this one too.
Yeah.
But we got to open up for Immortal Technique.
Damn.
And he we met him at a at one of the festivals we performed at, and he just like rocked with us. And I'll continue this right after right after our quick commercial break.
This podcast is sponsored by White Toyota Pickup.
That was a message from our sponsor.
Opening for Immortal Technique.
Opening for Immortal
That's
Tech.
crazy.
It was super sick because we reached out to him directly, and he like it was no like you're a hip hop head. You probably know like sometimes there's like pay to play like
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of that in Vancouver, man. That's all it is.
nothing.
Like,
We didn't have to do anything besides pull up and do our set, and we were able to sell merch there and
that's
everything.
beautiful, man.
But yeah, he brought us out, and then we tried to get on his next stop on his tour while he was out here, and he couldn't get us on because there was other promoters like you know already booked or like the promoter already booked other acts. So he brought us out and he gave us like backstage passes. So we went out there, we're on stage, and on his last song, this is where the crazy moment comes in. He was playing I think like Cross the Boundary or something like that, and the beat came on. He's like, I got some dope spitters on here, like up on the stage with me. He finished his verse, and then he brought out Reverie, who's somebody like Reverie, like I rock with Reverie heavily. She went on, and then she passed the mic to me, and I was like, oh, damn. And this is in a theater in Santa Ana, and there's 1,000 people in there. That's the biggest crowd we've ever rocked. And I just had to freestyle something on the fly, and then, like how she was saying, too, like, she doesn't really, like, she freestyles, but, like, she always told me, she's like, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing it in front of, like,
1,000 people.
She said even just on a regular crowd, you know, like that we rock for.
Yeah.
And then she came out right after me swinging, the crowd's cheering, and it was that's like highlight moment right there, because it was like this is everything we worked for right here. And then months later we found because JG got a video of it on his phone, so we're like, okay, cool, that like we have like evidence there that happened. We were watching on YouTube, and his live performance came up, and somebody filmed it from the top of because it was a theater, so there was a balcony, and somebody filmed it, and you could see us come out, and the whole thing's on YouTube, you know. So that was a
check that shit out.
crazy highlight moment. If you got any other highlight moments,
No, honestly, I was gonna say that,
one,
and we opened it up for him, like, so I guess that's considered twice there. Well, not the second one's not really, but
we were featured act.
Then we gotta open up for him another separate time, like different time, like not that long ago. I want to say like a couple months ago. Like,
I think in
So he fucks with you guys.
I think in May.
And
May,
he
June,
like
or May.
talked to us and like was like giving us flowers.
Dude, he
and
gave
stuff,
us flowers,
you know?
and you know, gave us motivational words of encouragement. Told us he rocked with us. He said that like we're doing it different than other people. It was just crazy because I told you earlier that's like one of the people that got me into hip hop, and he like
that must have been huge.
Oh yeah, it was like during the sound check, and he came up and he looked at all of us, and like I don't know, we just were like bantering with him, and then he just like went in and gave like a 5-minute speech that felt like 15-20 minutes of just him like and it was just crazy. He was just dropping knowledge and just
That's the thing. I think it's really important for like OGs like him to drop knowledge and shit. You know what I mean? Like we just did a podcast with someone else the other day, and he's an OG in the game for sure. And I was referring to like old school hip hop, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta stop saying old school hip hop. It's classic hip hop, right? We don't want to make these people push in a box, make them feel old or whatever." But like Immortal Technique, taking that time to sit down with you guys, chop it up, give you guys the flowers, like. That's almost his job to do that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So, like, you guys now take that and know what to do moving forward because, you know, he's definitely someone that's against the whole mumble rap, fucking objectifying women type thing. So it's important for OGs to pass it down to the younger generation, teach knowledge and spread that wisdom. Hip-hop has become quite a business, right? It's always really been a business. But how do you guys navigate, like, the business and the art?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you know, based off of my research on your guys' Instagram, I see your guys' follower to ratio with the likes and shit. And I've never really seen so many, like, likes and comments for, like, such not little amount of followers. But, like, usually people that have, like, 5,000-7,000 followers, they're not getting, like, 800 likes, 500 likes every single post. So you guys' followers are like real dedicated people that fuck with you guys that I'm sure you guys know personally. So like I said, how do you guys manage and navigate through the business with the art?
That's a beautiful question.
I know, that's a great question,
come on.
honestly.
Yeah.
That's, you know, we like from the very beginning, I feel like we've always thought like the business is important. More so in like the very beginning, it was kind of like doing whatever shows you could take and like paying your dues. And we're still growing, still paying our dues. And, like there got to a certain point where it was like what shows are worth it to us and kind of giving like passing on opportunities, you know. And also then they got to a point where it's like, okay, we're traveling a lot and there's like a demand, people are paying tickets, come see us, now we should start charging for performances. And exactly. And then it got to like one show where we actually had like more merch and we made like a good amount of merch sales, and we realized that there was like, you know, we've been leaving a lot of money on the table by not having merch at our shows. Like, we used to just go and perform, and that became a huge thing. And then it became like, okay, this is going to be, like, from the very beginning, we've always, like, believed in ourselves, like, 110%. So now we, like, have the Neighborhood Kids as a LLC. It's been legitimized. And back to what you were saying, that segues into, like, all those shows that we did where we're just like, you know, a few people here, or maybe it's a big show and you know, we rock the house, you know, we just kind of just reach out to everybody there, connect with them. And a lot of these people still follow us, still rock with us. And then just the network that we've been able to build has just been real. I never call like people like fans, you know. I feel like y'all are fam, y'all are supporters. Like, you guys make what we do possible, and y'all aren't just fanatics, y'all aren't just fans. This is a community, you know, and that's truly what we believe. So people say like we have like good marketing and stuff, but there got to a point where we kind of just made everything as natural as possible. That's why a lot of ours is just videos of us rapping, because it's like we try to do like, you know, like the niche, like kind of like, I don't know, like either clickbaity or like, you know, like stuff that kind of seems like what you would see on like TikTok, Instagram, internet type stuff. But it got to a point where it was like, okay, some of this does good and some of it doesn't. And a lot of this just doesn't feel natural, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing, is like you got to make it natural so that people could really like rock with what you're doing and like feel like they're a part of it. So as far as like the ratio of like the people like that like it to people that watch the videos and whatnot, that is literally like just years of just meeting people and doing it. And like for the longest, we would see people that would buy their followers, you know, and it just looks bad. It's a bad look.
Bad.
It's a bad look.
It's
like
so
if you
bad.
got like,
I don't understand why, like how they do it, like why, like how do you not think that people notice this shit?
it's so
Like,
crazy. If you see someone like 50,000 followers and they're getting like 20 to 50 likes, and you're like my
little
friend.
verified thing, and
The
shit,
verified
like,
thing, all
fuck.
that is just like, I'm just like, God, just be real. Like if you're not getting the engagement, do something to get that engagement up. And I think we just pay a lot of attention to it and really want. We're particular in what we put out. You know, like it's no room for you know, like people. Y'all are consuming our stuff. Like we're gonna put some thought out into it. Like even if you're just scrolling on it and liking it, it's just a post.
Exactly.
Like there needs to be some thought behind it. And
100%. Yeah, no, MC Wicks from Fresno, actually. He's
my
the one
boy.
who put us on to you guys, because we were in Vancouver and we spent a few months before this trip doing as much research as possible, trying to find all these underground artists in these different areas, and he rocks with us pretty heavy. And we asked him, like, yo, who do you know is the dopest that we need to reach out to? He mentioned you guys, and then we found your Instagram, scrolled through, and fucking bada boom, now we're here. That song that you guys perform in the beginning of this podcast, what's it called?
Biddi Bomb.
Biddi Bomb. So you have like this little back and forth, and you guys both say the lyrics at the same time. I'm sure you guys wrote that together in the stew.
Yeah.
What's your normal process for writing music? Like, your guys' songs is a lot of back and forth, so how do you go about doing that?
I think at first we were actually individual artists. Like, it wasn't the neighborhood kids. Like, he was just Amon, I was just Verde. And then we wrote our first song, like, as just, okay, let's do a collab, like Verde, Amon, you know? And I remember in that song, like, I was so for some reason, I think I was just scared, or I don't know what it was, but I was like, oh, I don't want to write my verse in front of you. Like, I don't know why, you know? But that was like a few years ago, like maybe like, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
It's going on 5 now.
Like 5 years ago. And he wrote his on the spot, like in front of me. And then I wrote it like the next day, like not with him. But then going forward, we wrote another song. Well, we were writing songs, but one that I vividly remember is another one that's just like my song that's called Tomboy. And he helped me like write this song, you know, and like it was the first time that I was like, okay, like I feel like, I don't know, I told him like my idea. And then he was like, oh, like, let me help you. And, like, we, like, made it together, you know? And it's a beautiful thing. And then we wrote, like, Hush or Biddi Bomb. And those, like, that's, like, fast forward, like, now, you know? Or just last year. And yeah, we just sit in the room and just kind of, like, bounce off ideas. Like, sometimes it'll be like we're just freestyling, and then like we'll voice memo it, and then like whatever sounded good, like we'll write that down and kind of puzzle piece it, really. Like, it's a whole puzzle, and sometimes it takes like just a couple days, and sometimes it takes like months, like to get it all flushed out together. But yeah, it's literally just sharing energy now. It's just like we're in the same room, like, let's make a beat, and he'll like tell me, like, even with the beat stuff, like he'll be like, oh, I'm feeling like a flute, and then we'll find a flute sample, and then, you know, we'll just build off of that. And then that's what happens with the lyrics too. Like, we'll just like build, and a lot of scrapping, a lot of like just getting rid of whole pages worth of lyrics, and then
so much.
You know, so that's how it goes. You have anything else to add to that?
Just on that, like one thing that she was touching up on was that as like an MC, like, you always want to be like, no, I wrote like that, you know, like, oh, this is all me, you know. But like we just want to make great music, so it got to a point where we both put down our egos and we're like, let's just do what's the best for the song. Like, people, exactly, you know. Like, she'll have like some bars, and I'll be like, oh, you should say this at the end, and then she will, and she'll do it in her own swagger, and it'll be dope. And she's like the flow's off right here, you got to take out like these couple words and then it'll hit harder, and then I'll do that. And, you know, she's like, oh, maybe you breathe in this pocket instead of this pocket, it'll, you know, hit harder. And like, we just kind of just bounce off ideas and even do like little stuff like that. And it used to be like a thing, like, oh no, I want to, like, you know, be the one to write this. But when you're like, you know, matching energies with somebody on a song, like, you have to match their energy. You have to, like, it's a collaborative work. You can't just be like, I want my idea to get across. No, you have to be like, what's going to be the best for this? And that was a huge thing that we had to, I feel like we learned that pretty recently, even though we've been making songs. But that was like a huge, like, realization to be like, let's just make the best piece of like history that we can, you know. And it's just been working for us, especially with back and forth stuff. You kind of have to be like,
that shit's dope live.
Thank you.
So dope. I love like watching the artists go back and forth, especially live too. What I don't know. I like how your name has the word kids in it. I think hip hop's for the children. Wu-Tang always talks about Wu-Tang's for the children and leaving a legacy, like Immortal technique with you guys giving flowers. So what legacy do you guys, what legacy do you hope that you guys leave with your music?
Liberation for all. Kids of the future. Protect the kids. Listen to the kids. Kids are the most, they're the most targeted, exploited creatures on this planet, humans on this planet, and we need to protect them, and we need to set a good example. I feel like just being an adult, I feel like that comes with you have to be like a guardian, a protector, a lead, even though we're all just adults just trying to figure it out and just grow up together. Like, we all have a kid like inside of us, and like that's our whole thing is protect the kids, lead.
And no, like, I feel like a big thing is, like, not like, letting your ego, like, go, because, like, I don't know, a lot of people have, like, some sort of, like, wall with them, and I think it's, like, I, like, see right through you. Like, I see, like, the little kid, that, some people forget that, like, you were once, like, a child, but it's good to, like, have that still in you and still in your conversations or in your art, so I think always to leave that with the children of the future, like, always be yourself, we don't have to, like, have this wall, and we don't have to, like, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people have a front and it's not needed,
100%. Be silly.
Yeah.
Laugh. Jump around. Be crazy. Laugh. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see, like, the movement with, like, I don't really want to say movement, but just as of recently, especially since COVID, like, a lot more people that I know are going to therapy. A lot more people are trying to, like, tap into that, like, inner child, because, like you said, some people forget, that they once were a child. So it's pretty funny how, like, adults now are trying to go back to that in a way, you know what I mean? So how long have you guys been doing this together for?
Ooh, I want to say the Neighborhood Kids has been like 4 years since we thought of the name, but 2 years of, like, putting out music and actually like, and being on, like, lineups as the Neighborhood Kids.
Yeah.
And then, like, even before that, I think 2018 or 19 is when we first started linking up and making music together. And
I think even sooner, like 2017.
2017, 18.
Like, we were making music together, but not as the Neighborhood Kids, and so.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long time.
It's a long time.
What do you guys see for the future? Any upcoming projects, or, like, as far as your guys' legacy continues to grow, what do you guys see for the Neighborhood Kids in the future? Like,
full-length projects, music videos that are like mini movies, that really capture the message. A project that we really want to drop that we've been working on is, like, what Biddi Bomb is going to be on, that type of vibe of old school hip hop, because we have, like, that punk hip hop project with the band, but we haven't had a chance to, like, showcase the Neighborhood Kids, like, what we do. And honestly, we do Neighborhood Kids sets with the whole band, or we'll do it just us three, like her, DJ JG, and myself. And we only have, like, the couple songs out, but there's, like, a bunch of songs that we have together that are, like,
in the vault,
that are, like, classic hip hop type stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing we want to get out. Bunch more band stuff, and we just want to just leave so much music out there, and cool merchandise, like these are our shirts that we made,
I want to create one of those.
Right? And then these, like, the hats, we make hats. We want to get crazier too. We want to make, like, toys, like little action figures, and we've been concepting a comic book or, like, a manga, like, and Yeah, like what else do you want to leave behind? Like, what do you see in the visions of the neighborhood kids?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you said already, like a bunch of music and bunch of different types of music. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, like punk or punk rap, you know. Like, I want, and we have so many other songs that people have never heard that are like chill, like just like either lo-fi or like, you know, just mellow, you know, not so heavy. Because I know our music right now, like what's in our discography is really like in your face, heavy. Like we like shit like Mac Miller, you know, like stuff that's just chill. And I don't know how else to describe it, but in that vibe. And just leaving just a bunch of music and videos. Like we don't really have like that many music videos. Like we literally only have one, and it's one that we shot like DIY. So definitely more videos and collectibles. Like I know the Beatles like had a bunch of collectibles and like stuff like memorabilia, you know, and we're super into like collecting like old shit, like old video games, like old like toys from the 90s or the 80s. So shit like that'll make it like, it's, you know, like making it different to where like, oh, years from now, like you find some like trading cards that have our face on it, you know, like
shit like that,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so something like that.
It'd be so sick to have like collectors 20, 40 years from now being like, oh, this is a first print of like neighborhood kids t-shirts. I could tell because there was this misprint. There's actually some shirts out there that have like a misprint, like we spelled something wrong. And,
No
like,
way.
Yeah, so like it'd be so sick for somebody to find that out. We made little lyric books, and our friend on the first run of it, it just had like everything it's supposed to, like the contents in the front. And on the second run, our friend put his little publishing company. So, you know, one day somebody be like, oh, this one doesn't have the publishing company on here. So then it'll, you know, that's a first print of that. And we've been making vinyls recently. Like we'll get like one-off vinyls, but the way that they package them isn't like, I don't know, like it needed a little bit like it. So we've got like the like sleeves that match the color of the vinyl, and then we had when he actually has like a print shop, like a family like owned print shop, and she printed out like big like card inserts that we could put in the vinyl, and then we put it in a nice little baggie, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that,
make it more personal.
Exactly, because we sell them for like a good amount, but it's, you know, they cost a good amount to make because we're just making one-offs, and then we're putting like that extra time. And I want somebody like in the future, like, because eventually we're gonna be able to like not mass produce but like get like better runs of like stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So then in the future people are like, no, I got like the first one, and there'll be like those little discrepancies where people will be like, no, like I got like the first print, and it'll be like worth like crazy, and on eBay people will be selling it for a lot.
No,
Dude, like oh my god,
I see it. I see it for you guys for sure.
Another thing I'm gonna add is like definitely like a song in a video game, like a Skate 7. I don't know, like
Skate
later
7,
on,
yeah.
like in the future.
Skate 4, the next
They
skate
need to
game.
drop that.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in there.
I crushed all 3 of those games.
Dude,
I love that game so much.
That's a
It'd be-
dream.
man.
That's a dream.
Or
for
like a
sure.
Tony Hawk game.
Yeah, or like even a movie, like a cartoon or something. I don't know.
I would love to like write a song for, because we, like our songwriting process is crazy. Like how she was saying, like we have all these different, like we have like songs where we're like mainly singing on there, and like lo-fi and acoustic and different languages, and I want to get my Spanish game better up, and and then she has like some Spanish songs like singing, and like stuff with the, like how I was telling you with the orchestra. She has a couple songs with the orchestra. I want more neighborhood kids orchestra songs, and I'm talking like she has songs with like a 40-person orchestra, like string section and horns, and like, you know, composed beautifully. So that's like, I just have like grand visions of that. And yeah, another thing that, I'm sorry, I'm just getting excited talking about it, but we want to make like the neighborhood kids like school of like art and music, you know, like either an after school or like a legit school nonprofit where kids could come there for free, or like not even just kids, but like all ages can come there and learn. JG always wanted he does DJ like classes and lessons, you know, like small, like one-off things. But he said he has a dream of having like a classroom with a bunch of turntables and people just come in there and they learn. And she's always wanted to teach beats, and I'd love to have like a freestyle like lecture and
scratch workshop.
Exactly, and like teaching people how we make our merch or other ways to make merch and all that design, and then just going into all these other like avenues to like give people either that extra like knowledge to know how to do it or to turn into a business or just to have fun, you know. And that's like a huge thing for us, you know, to like leave behind someone like that, you know.
That refers back to the legacy thing too. It's beautiful. I see a really bright future for you guys, man, honestly. Like, especially with tour as well, right? Like a tour would be dope as fuck. And, you know, if you guys ever need a place to stay in Vancouver, we got you. We got venues. We got everything you guys need. So
we want to go there so bad.
Definitely hook up a show. And, you know, our following, our community definitely resonates with you guys' music. They fuck with you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Much love to Icon. Much love to this
Yerba
podcast.
Mate. Keep sipping yerba mate.